Okay, so next we have to learn about indeterminate forms. So total there are 7 indeterminate forms. Okay, so the first indeterminate form is 0 by 0. The second indeterminate form is infinity by infinity. The third one is 0 into infinity. Now, why I am calling these forms as indeterminate? First, let us understand what is the meaning of this indeterminate form. Okay, if you see this first indeterminate form 0 by 0, okay, so our first example say this was limit x tending to 2, x square minus 4 by x minus 2. Now here if you place x equals to 2, then you will get 4 minus 4 by 2 minus 2. So this is an example of 0 by 0 indeterminate form. And now why I am calling this as indeterminate form, because if you see the numerator only, then whatever be the denominator, the value of this fraction should be 0, right? If numerator is 0, then this should be 0. But if you look at the denominator, then whatever be the value of numerator, now this should be plus or minus infinity, okay? Because 1 by 0, if you have 1 by 0 plus, then this was plus infinity, 1 by 0 minus, this was minus infinity. So if you see the denominator only, then this fraction should be either plus infinity or minus infinity, right? Depending on whether numerator is positive or negative. And if you see the numerator only, then this fraction should be 0. So therefore this form is called indeterminate form, okay, because numerator and denominator are giving us the different value for the fraction, okay. Similarly this infinity by infinity, this is also indeterminate, because infinity divided by any number should be infinity or minus infinity if the number is negative, and whatever be the numerator, if denominator is infinity, then this should be 0. 1 by infinity is any finite number divided by infinity should be 0. So therefore this infinity by infinity is called indeterminate form. Similarly third one, 0 into infinity, this is also indeterminate because 0 multiplied by any finite number is 0. Infinity multiplied by any finite number is plus or minus infinity depending on whether the number is positive or negative. So if you look at the second term only, then this should be plus infinity or minus infinity depending on whether this first term is positive or negative. And if you look at the first term only, then this should be 0, because 0 multiplied by any finite number is 0. So this 0 into infinity becomes indeterminate. Okay, we don't know what will be the value, what value this function is approaching. If first part is approaching to 0, second part is approaching to infinity. You can see that suppose if I have infinity plus infinity, then this is not indeterminate. The reason is that infinity plus minus any finite, this should be infinity. Infinity plus minus any finite, that should be infinity. So infinity plus infinity is infinity, okay. So this is not indeterminate. See, these are not exact number, these are concept. Infinity means a very large number. So a very large number added with another very large number will give us a very large number, okay. But infinity minus infinity, now this becomes indeterminate, because minus infinity plus minus any finite will be minus infinity, and plus infinity plus minus any finite will be plus infinity. So this infinity minus infinity is indeterminate, okay. You should not think of these things as numbers. These are not numbers, these are concept. A very large number subtracted from another very large number, so we don't know which one of these two is larger. So therefore we can call this as indeterminate or meaningless form, okay. Another thing that you have to, there are 3 other indeterminate forms, but another thing that you have to keep in mind is that these are not exact numbers, okay. 0, I am writing 0 into infinity, so this means one part is approaching to 0, another part is approaching to infinity, okay. For example, suppose if I write say limit x tending to 0 x into cot x, okay. So now if I place x equals to 0 here, then I will get 0 multiplied by cot 0. Now cot 0 means cos 0 by sin 0. So this will become 0 into infinity indeterminate form. Now remember that this is not exactly equal to 0. If I am writing x tending to 0, means this is approaching to 0, okay. This is very close to 0 but not exactly equal to 0, and similarly this is approaching to infinity. So this limit x tending to 0 x into cot x, this is 0 into infinity indeterminate form. Okay, if you have exact 0, then exact 0 multiplied by any number is always 0. Okay, so all these indeterminate form means numerator is approaching to 0, denominator is approaching to 0. Okay, you can see that this x square minus 4 is not equal to 0. Okay, x square minus 4 when x is approaching to 2 is approaching to 0. Okay, these two things are completely different. Okay, you have to know this concept that when I place 2 here, then I am getting a 0, but x is not equal to 2, right? If I am writing limit x tending to 2, this means x is not equal to 2. X is a number close to 2. So x square minus 4 will be a number close to 0. X minus 2 will be a number close to 0. So in all these indeterminate forms, you have to not think that this is exactly 0 and this is infinity. One part is approaching to 0, another part is approaching to infinity, and therefore we cannot say that what will be the value of this product of these two. So therefore it becomes indeterminate. Similarly, there are three other indeterminate forms: 1 to the power infinity, infinity to the power 0, and 0 to the power 0. Again, all these are indeterminate because same logic. If you see 0 to the power 0, then any finite number raised to the power 0 is 1. Any 0 raised to the power any finite number is 0. So if you see this exponent only, then this should be 1. But if you see the base only, then this should be 0. So therefore 0 to the power 0 is indeterminate form. Using similar logic, you can show that these all are indeterminate. 1 to the power infinity is also indeterminate because if you have a number slightly greater than 1, okay, if you have a number say 1.1, then if you take 1.1, if you multiply 1.1 infinite times, okay, 1.1 raised to the power infinity means this multiplied infinite times, so this will approach to infinity. But if you have a number slightly smaller than 1 and if you multiply these numbers infinite times, then you will get a number close to 0 because now 0.9 into 0.9 is less than 0.9. This will be 0.9801. Then again these two multiplied by another 0.9 will be less than this number. So gradually this number will approach to 0. So if this base is slightly more than 1, then you will get infinity. If base is slightly less than 1, then you will get 0. Now if I am writing 1 to the power infinity, this means base is approaching to 1, exponent is approaching to infinity. Now we don't know whether this is approaching to 1 from right side or left side. If it was slightly more than 1, then this will become plus infinity. If it was slightly less than 1, then it will become 0. So therefore we call this as indeterminate form. Okay. So total there are 7 indeterminate form: 0 by 0, infinity by infinity, 0 into infinity, infinity minus infinity, and these three: 1 to the power infinity, infinity to the power 0, and 0 to the power 0. Now while solving the problems of limit, first you should find that whether you are getting any one of these 7 indeterminate forms or not. So for example, suppose if I had this problem, say limit x tending to, say any number x tending to 2, x square minus 1 by x minus 1. Now here can I directly substitute x equals to 2 here? Just see, if I substitute 2 here, then I will get 2 square minus 1 by 2 minus 1, 3 by 1. So this is giving us finite number. So here we don't have to do any calculation, directly substitute x equals to 2. But in this example, we cannot directly substitute x equals to 2 because if you substitute 2 here, then you will get 0 by 0 indeterminate form. So only when you are getting any one of these indeterminate form, then you have to do further simplification. Otherwise, you can directly substitute the value of limit. Okay. So this was all about indeterminate form. Now we will see how to deal with our first two indeterminate form, 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. Okay. So for that there is one very important theorem which is called Hopital rule. Okay. So this Hopital rule is to be used when you have 0 by 0 indeterminate form or infinity by infinity indeterminate form, or if you have 0 into infinity indeterminate form, then you can easily convert this as 0 by 0 indeterminate form, right? You can write 0 into infinity as 0 by 1 by infinity, and this will become 0 by 0 indeterminate form. So remember that you can apply this Hopital rule in 0 into infinity indeterminate form also, but first you have to convert this in the form of 0 by 0 indeterminate form. With the help of some examples, we'll see how to do that. So in the first 3 indeterminate form, because this is not different, this is same as our first, or you can also convert this in second form. You can write this as infinity by 1 by 0, so it will become infinity by infinity. So in first 3 indeterminate forms, you can solve those problems using this Hopital rule. Now what is this Hopital rule? The Hopital rule is that limit x tending to a fx by gx, okay, limit x tending to a fx by gx, this will be equal to limit x tending to a f dash x by z dash x. But remember that this will be valid only when f of a is 0 and g of a is 0, meaning that you are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form, or you are getting infinity by infinity indeterminate form. In that case also you can apply this. So if you are getting 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, then you can apply Hopital rule. Now suppose again you are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form, then again you can use the Hopital rule. I mean, this is the formula. But if you have differentiated numerator and denominator, remember that you have to differentiate these two separately. You don't need to use u by v formula. Differentiate numerator separately and denominator separately. So this will be the value of limit. But if you are again getting indeterminate form, then again you can differentiate this, and this will be limit x tending to a f double dash x second derivative by g double dash x. But remember that this you can use only when f dash a is 0 and g dash a is 0, or these two are infinity. Okay, only when you are getting infinity by infinity indeterminate form, then you can apply this, then you can again differentiate that result. Now after this there are some standard result that you, based on this Hopital rule, that you need to know. The first one is limit x tending to 0 sin x by x. Okay, so as you can see that this is giving us 0 by 0 indeterminate form. If you place x equals to 0 here, then you will get sin 0 by 0. So since it is 0 by 0 indeterminate form, you can apply Hopital rule here. So you can write this as limit x tending to 0, differentiate these two separately. So derivative of sin will be cos, derivative of x will be 1. Now if I place x equals to 0, then we are not getting any indeterminate form, cos 0 is 1. So this is a very important result, limit x tending to 0, sin x by x, this is always 1. Okay, so this is first result. Now there are number of type of questions that are asked based on this formula. So we are going to see some of the examples of how to use this formula. So suppose here, if I have to evaluate the value of, okay, say if I have to find this value, limit x tending to 0 sin 2x by x. Okay, we need to find the value of this limit. So here also you can see that this is 0 by 0 indeterminate form. Now if you want to use this standard formula, then you can write this as limit x tending to 0 sin 2x. Now whatever be the argument of this sign, divide by that argument, multiply by that argument, and this divided by x. Now you can see that this quantity inside the second bracket will be 1, because when x is approaching to 0, 2x is also approaching to 0, sin 2x by 2x, this will give us 1. X will cancel, the value of limit will be 2. Okay, so but remember that this will be 1 only when you are getting 0 by 0. For example, suppose if I have to evaluate, say, limit x tending to 1 sin x by x, so what should be the value of this limit? Now this is not 1. Why this is not 1? I mean, people have this habit of writing sin x by x as 1. So sin x by x is 1 only when x is approaching to 0. Only sin 0 by 0 is 1. If x is approaching to 1, then if I place x equals to 1 here, then I will get sin 1 by 1, which is not an indeterminate form. Okay, so the value of this limit will be sin 1. Remember that 1 is in radian and not in degree. Okay, so this is how we apply our first formula. The second formula that you need to know is limit x tending to 0 tan x by x. Now using Hopital rule, this is also 1. Tan x by x, derivative of tan x will be sec square x, derivative of x will be 1, sec square 0, sec 0 is 1, 1 square is 1. So this will be our second result. The third one is limit x tending to, maybe I can write the third result here, or let me separate these two. Our third result is limit x tending to 0 sine inverse x by x. Now using that same formula, derivative of sine inverse x will be 1 by root over 1 minus x square. Derivative of x will be 1. If you place x equals to 0, you will get 1 here. The fourth one is limit x tending to 0 tan inverse x by x. Tan inverse x, again 0 by 0, tan inverse 0 is 0 by 0. So 0 by 0 indeterminate form, apply Hopital rule, derivative of tan inverse 1 by 1 plus x square, derivative of x 1. If you place x equals to 0, you will get 1. So this is our fourth result. The fifth one is limit x tending to 0 a to the power x minus 1 by x. So a to the power x, if I place x equals to 0, then I will get 1, 1 minus 1, 0 by 0. So here if you apply Hopital rule, you will get log a. Remember that derivative of a to the power x with respect to x is a to the power x into log a. Okay, and in denominator you will get 1. If you place x equals to 0, this will give us 1. Finally you will get log a. So this is our fifth result. And the last one, and here if you have e to the power x minus 1, then you will get 1, because in place of a now you will have e. So this is our fifth result. And the last one that you need to know is limit x tending to a x to the power n minus a to the power n by x minus a. So this will be n a to the power n minus 1. Again applying Hopital rule, differentiate numerator, differentiate denominator, separately differentiate these two. Okay, the derivative of numerator and denominator. So here you will get n x to the power n minus 1, here you will get 1. If you place x equals to a, you will get this formula. Now how to use this formula? Suppose if I have to evaluate, say limit x tending to 2 x to the power 10 minus 1024 by x minus 2. So this you can write as limit x tending to 2 x to the power 10 minus 2 to the power 10 by x minus 2. Now using this formula, in place of n you have 10 and in place of a you have 2. So this will give us n a to the power n minus 1, which is 5120. Okay, so these were 6 different results based on this Hopital rule. Hopital rule can be used only if you have any one of these 3 indeterminate form. If you have the third indeterminate form, then convert that to 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. Okay, so now we'll see some of the problems based on Hopital rule. Okay, so now we have these two problems based on the concepts that we have learned. So the first question was asked in GATE 2015 in mechanical. The problem is we have to evaluate this limit x tending to 0, 1 minus cos x square by 2x to the power 4. Now as you can clearly see that if I place x equals to 0 here, I will get 1 minus cos 0, cos 0 is 1, so 1 minus 1 0 by 0. So this is 0 by 0 indeterminate form, right? Now we have learned that in case of 0 by 0 indeterminate form, we can apply Hopital rule. So here if I apply Hopital rule, there are a number of ways of solving this problem. So first we are going to solve this using Hopital rule, then we will see the second approach. So this will give us limit x tending to 0. If I differentiate the numerator, derivative of minus cos x square will be plus sin x square into 2x. We have to apply chain rule here. So first we need to differentiate with respect to x square. That will give us this sin of x square. Then derivative of x square with respect to x, this will be 2x. And the derivative of denominator will be 8x cube. Now as you can see that this we can write as limit x tending to 0, 2 by 8, this will give us 1 by 4. Here you can write this as sin x square by x square. 1x and x will cancel. Okay, if you cancel this x and x cube, then you will get x square here. So now as you can see that this sin x square by x square when x is approaching to 0 will be 1. So finally you will get 1 by 4. Okay, so for this question the 4 options were given, so the correct answer will be the option having 1 by 4 as the answer. Now second approach is, here we are going to use trigonometric identities. Now there are two very important formula that everyone must know. 1 minus cos x, this is 2 sin square x by 2, and 1 plus cos x is 2 cos square x by 2. Okay, these two formulas are very frequently used in calculus. So 1 minus cos x, 2 sin square x by 2, 1 plus cos x is 2 cos square x by 2. So here if I apply that formula, then I will get limit x tending to 0, 2 sin square x square by 2, and this divided by 2x to the power 4. 2 will cancel. This can be written as limit x tending to 0, sin x square by 2 by x square by 2 into x square by 2 squared into 1 by x to the power 4. Right? We have divided by the argument of sin x multiplied by the argument of sin x. Now once you do that, then you can easily see that this term will give us 1, right? Sin x square by 2 by x square by 2, when x is approaching to 0, remember that when x is approaching to 0, this term will be 0 and this will be also 0. So sin 0 by 0, this will be 1. So now we will get limit x tending to 0, x square by 2 squared, so x to the power 4 by 4, 1 by x to the power 4, this will finally give us 1 by 4. So either you can solve this using Hopital rule or using this trigonometric identity and then using the result that limit x tending to 0 sin x by x is 1. Okay, so in second method we needed to use these two formula. So as you can see, the correct answer will be 1 by 4. Now our second problem is, this is also a very interesting question. Limit x tending to 0, tan x minus sin x by x cube. So here if I want to find the value of this limit, then this will be limit x tending to 0, and tan you can write as sin by cos. So we will get sin x by cos x minus sin x by x cube. So this will give us limit x tending to 0. If we take sin x as common and write 1x here, then I will get 1 minus cos x by x square into cos x, right? Because here if you directly apply Hopital rule, then you have to do differentiation 3 times. You have x cube in denominator, you have 2 different terms in numerator, and so this will become complicated. So it is better to use trigonometric identities. So tan is sin by cos. If I take sin common, then I will get sin x by x. You will get 1 by cos x minus 1. If you take cos x as LCM, 1 minus cos x. Now when x is approaching to 0, sin x by x, this will be 1. When x is approaching to 0, this cos x is also 1. Okay. In case of limits, you can substitute the value of limits as long as that is not contributing in indeterminate form. See, here we are getting indeterminate form because of these two terms. 1 minus cos x becomes 0 and x square becomes 0. So these terms will be finite. Here you are getting 1 and cos 0 will be 1. So we are not getting indeterminate form because of cos x, and therefore you can substitute the value of x equals to 0 here. So now you will get 1 minus cos x by x square. This will be limit x tending to 0. 1 minus cos x will be 2 sin square x by 2, and this divided by x. Maybe after this step it will be better to use Hopital rule. Okay, you can use the trigonometric identity also, but using Hopital rule you can see the answer in a single step. If I apply Hopital rule, derivative of minus cos x will be sin x, derivative of x square will be 2x. So limit x tending to 0, 1 by 2 sine x by x. When x is approaching to 0, sine x by x will give us 1. So finally the answer will be 1 by 2. You can also solve this using this second approach, using the trigonometric identity 2 sine square x by 2 by x square. So this will be limit x tending to 0 to sine x by 2 by x by 2 into x by 2 squared 1 by x square. X square x will cancel, this will give us 1. Finally you will get 2 by 4, which is 1 by 2. Okay, so either you can solve using that trigonometric identity, or after this step apply Hopital rule. So this was our second problem. We'll take a few more problems on these indeterminate forms. Okay, so now we have these two problems, again based on the concept of that Hopital rule and the formulas that we have learned. So our first question is, this is from GATE 2014 from civil engineering. The problem is, evaluate limit x tending to 0 x plus sine x by x. This was not x tending to 0, x tending to infinity. Okay, so the problem is, find the value of this limit x tending to infinity, x plus sine x by x. Now as you can see that if you place infinity here, then you will create infinity plus sine infinity will be anything from -1 to +1. Okay, we all know that sine x always lies in this interval -1 to +1, including -1 and +1. So this will be a number between -1 to +1. This will be infinity, infinity plus finite, infinity by infinity. So this is infinity by infinity indeterminate form. Okay, so here Hopital rule can be applied, but there is one problem with Hopital rule. Okay, so first let us see what is incorrect approach, or what is the problem with this Hopital rule. Suppose if I apply Hopital rule here, then the value of this limit will be limit x tending to infinity. In Hopital rule we have to differentiate the numerator and denominator separately. Derivative of numerator will be cos x, derivative of denominator will be 1. If I place x equals to infinity here, I will get 1 plus cos infinity, right? Now we don't know the value of this cos infinity. Okay, if you see the graph of this cos x, then this was the graph of cos x. So to find the value of cos infinity, you have to reach to infinity, and by the time you will return, your GATE examination will be over. So even if you have found the value of cos infinity, there is no point in that. So here you cannot apply this method because we don't know the value of this cos infinity, right? So you cannot apply Hopital rule in this particular problem. So the correct approach here will be that you have to first write this limit as, if I have to calculate this, then limit x tending to infinity, x plus sine x by x. Okay, this was the problem. So here Hopital rule cannot be applied because we don't know the value of this cos infinity. So we can rewrite this expression as limit x tending to infinity, and you will get, if I separate these two, then x by x will give us 1, and then sine x by x. Okay, now we are going to evaluate these two limits separately. We can take this 1 outside. Okay, so we can write this thing as 1 plus limit x tending to infinity sine x by x. Now we all know that sine x is a number from -1 to +1, and your denominator is approaching to infinity. So any finite number divided by infinity will give us 0. So this means the value of limit will be 1, and this was obvious because if you have a very large number, then x plus sine x, now sine x is from -1 to +1, so this will not make a major contribution. Okay, forget about infinity. Suppose if you had to evaluate, say, limit x tending to 10 to the power 3, okay, x plus sine x by x. Just to explain the idea, I am taking this number 10 to the power 3. So this will be 10 to the power 3 plus sine of 10 to the power 3 by 10 to the power 3. Now this number is a number between -1 to +1. So say even if it is -1, then what you are going to get? This will be 1000 minus 1. So 999 by 1000. Now this is very close to 1, right? or if you take this as plus 1, then you will get 1001 by 1000. So still that fraction will be very close to 1. So that is the idea behind this writing in this form, that if I write 1 plus sin x by x, and when x is approaching to infinity, this term will be 0 because numerator is a finite number from minus 1 to plus 1. So here the correct answer will be this option C. The value of limit will be plus 1. So this was a good problem. Next we have the second problem. This was from GATE 2017 in mechanical. The question is, this is fairly simple question. We have to evaluate the value of this limit. So there are again two ways of solving this problem. One approach is apply Hopital rule, okay, because we are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form. How we are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form? Denominator is 0, in numerator e to the power 0, 1, 1 minus 1, 0, these two are 0. So we will get 0 by 0 indeterminate form, which means Hopital rule can be applied here. So if I differentiate the numerator, I will get e to the power x minus derivative of 1 0, so I will get 1 plus x by 3x square. Now if I again differentiate this, then I will get limit x tending to 0, e to the power x minus 1 by 6x. Differentiating one more time, okay, we can write this thing here. If I differentiate this one more time, I will get limit x tending to 0. Now derivative of e to the power x will be e to the power x by 6. If I place x equals to 0, e to the power 0 by 6, which is 1 by 6. So correct answer is option B. Now there is another method of solving this problem, which is using the expansion of e to the power cos x. Okay, if you know the expansion of e to the power x, okay, we will see how to expand any function in the form of polynomial. But expansion of e to the power x is very important. It is most frequently used. So e to the power x can be written as 1 plus x, x square by 2 factorial, x cube by 3 factorial, x to the power 4 by 4 factorial. This will continue up to infinity, right? So now if I want to find the value of this limit, I can write this as limit x tending to 0, e to the power x. In place of e to the power x, you can write this expression. So 1 plus x, 2 factorial is 2, so 1 plus x square by 2, x cube by 3 factorial, x to the power 4 by 4 factorial up to infinity, minus 1 plus x square by 2, and this divided by x cube. Now as you can see that this 1x square, these three terms will cancel. From all the subsequent terms, you can take x cube common. So now you can write this as limit x tending to 0, take x cube common, so you will get 1 by 3 factorial plus x by 4 factorial, x square by 5 factorial up to infinity, and this divided by x cube. X cube will cancel. Now if you place x equals to 0, then all these terms will become 0, right? So this means you will simply get 1 by 3 factorial. 1 by 3 factorial is 1 by 6. So correct answer is option B. So you can solve this problem either using Hopital rule or using expansion of e to the power x. So this was our fourth problem on our first three indeterminate forms. We'll take some more problems based on these concepts. Okay, so now we have these two problems. These are very good problems. The first one is we have to evaluate the value of this limit x tending to 0, hyperbolic sin x minus x by x sin square x. Now before starting this problem, you should know the meaning of these two functions, hyperbolic sin x and hyperbolic cosine x. Hyperbolic sin x is e to the power x minus e to the power minus x by 2. For hyperbolic cosine, you will have plus sign in between. One more thing that you need to know here is that derivative of hyperbolic sin x is hyperbolic cosine x, okay, and derivative of hyperbolic cosine x is hyperbolic sin x. Remember that here we don't get minus sign, okay, derivative of hyperbolic sine, hyperbolic cosine, and if you differentiate this one, then you can easily see that you will get the first function, okay, e to the power x. If you differentiate this one, then you will get minus sign here. So these two basic informations are required. First one is the definition of these two functions, and second the formula for their derivatives. Now here if you see this problem carefully, then we are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form. If you place x equals to 0, you will get 0 in denominator, sine 0 0, hyperbolic sine 0 is also 0. Okay, from here you can see that. So this is 0 by 0 indeterminate form. Now in 0 by 0 indeterminate form we can apply Hopital rule, but here we are going to learn one important concept. While solving these type of problem, it is always better to do some simplification and then apply Hopital rule. Okay, let me show you how. Here if I have to apply Hopital rule, in denominator you can easily see that you have x into sine square x. Now this thing can be written as sine x by x into x squared, right? Or maybe I can write this into x square, because this x square and x square will cancel, you will get the same thing. Now why I am writing this? Because we know that sin x by x when x is approaching to 0 is 1. So this term will become 1, and finally your limit will be limit x tending to 0 hyperbolic sin x minus sin x by x cube. Now you can see that you have the same problem, but now it is much easier to differentiate the denominator compared to differentiating this function. Okay, and this you will see that how this will greatly reduce your calculation. So again we have 0 by 0 indeterminate form. Apply Hopital rule, differentiate the numerator and denominator separately. Derivative of numerator will be hyperbolic cosine minus cosine by 3x square. Now as you can see that this is again giving us 0 by 0 indeterminate form, cos 0 1, here also you will get 1, 1 minus 1 0 by 0. So since we are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form, Hopital rule is again applicable. If I differentiate, I will get hyperbolic sine, derivative of minus cos will be plus sine, and this divided by 6x. Again we are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form. Differentiate one more time and you will get hyperbolic cosine plus cosine by 6. Now if you place x equals to 0, then this will give you 1, 1 and 6 from here. So 1 plus 1 by 6, this will be 1 by 3. Now you can see that if you had started by applying Hopital rule on this original function, okay, on this function, then you can see that if you had to differentiate the denominator, the first derivative will be, you have to apply u into v formula. So you will get sin square x plus x, derivative of sin square x will be 2 sin x cos x, right? Now again you have to differentiate this function. So you can see that how complicated it will become, and the function that you will get that needs to be differentiated one more time. Okay, we are performing the derivative, we are differentiating the denominator 3 times to get rid of indeterminate form. So if you start with the original function, then the derivative of denominator will become complicated. So you will get the same answer, but this will require more calculation. So we have divided and multiplied by x square, this becomes 1, denominator is x cube. Now it is much easier to differentiate x cube 3 times compared to differentiating x into sin square x 3 times. So this was one interesting question where we had to learn how to apply the Hopital rule and how to reduce our calculation. Now we can come to the second problem. So the next question is, this is also a very good problem. The question is, find the value of this a if limit x tending to 0, 2 cos 2x plus a cos x by 3x square exists and is finite. Now this is very important term. The value of this limit is finite, then we have to find the value of a, and the second part of the problem is, once you have calculated a, find the value of limit also. So the problem that we have in our hand is limit x tending to 0, 2 cos 2x plus a cos x, and this divided by 3x square. Now here again we have to learn one very important concept. We know that this limit is finite, we don't know the value of limit, but this thing is told to us that this limit is finite, then find the value of a. Now See, when you place x equals to 0, when x equals to 0, denominator is 0, right? If I place x equals to 0, 3 into x square, this will give us 0, and the value of this limit is limit x tending to 0, this function is finite. Now from these two observations, okay, from these two, first one, when x is 0, denominator is 0, and second one, the value of this value of this limit is finite. So from these two observations, you can make a very important conclusion that when x is 0, numerator has to be 0, okay, only then this limit will be finite. Okay, if say numerator is non-zero, then what will happen? You will get some non-zero number in numerator divided by 0, and we all know that 1 by 0, if it is 0 plus, then it becomes plus infinity. If it is 0 minus, then it becomes minus infinity. But in any case, if denominator is 0 and numerator is some finite number, then limit will be plus infinity or minus infinity. Okay, so this means limit will be finite only when numerator is also 0. So now if I place x equals to 0, what is the value of numerator that we are getting? At x equals to 0, numerator will be 2 into cos 0 plus a into cos 0, and this has to be 0. So this means the value of a will be, cos 0 is 1, so value of a will be minus 2. Okay, so now again let me try to explain this concept. I mean, it is very important concept. If limit is finite and denominator is 0, then numerator has to be 0. See, if I have some number other than minus 2, then what will happen? Suppose if I had to evaluate this limit x tending to 0, 2 into cos 2x, and in place of a we have some other number, say a is 1. So what we are getting? Now this limit will become infinity. Why? Because if I place x equals to 0, 2 cos 0 will be 1, cos 0 1, 2 plus 1 3, 1 by 0 square. Now whether it is 0 plus or 0 minus, 0 square will be 0 plus. So this will give us plus infinity. So and that will be true for any other value of a except this minus 2. If you have any other value of a, then this numerator will be non-zero. Non-zero divided by 0 will give us infinity. So this limit will be finite only when a is minus 2. Suppose if you have minus 2 here, then what will happen? Then now you are going to get 0 by 0 indeterminate form, because now if you place x equals to 0, then you will get 2 minus 2, 0 by 0, and once it is indeterminate form, then only it can be finite, otherwise it will be infinity. Okay, so the answer to our first part of problem is the value of a will be minus 2. Now the second part of the problem is we need to evaluate the value of this limit. So second part is easy now, because we have obtained the value of a, and this divided by 3x square. Apply Hopital rule because you are getting 0 by 0 indeterminate form. So this can be written as limit x tending to 0 to derivative of cos 2x will be minus 2 sin 2x plus 2 sin x, and this divided by 6x. Again 0 by 0 indeterminate form. Again apply Hopital rule. Limit x tending to 0 minus 8 into cos 2x plus 2 into cos 2x, and this divided by 6. If you place 0 here, then you will get minus 8 plus 2 by 6, which is minus 1. So a is minus 1 and the value of limit will be, sorry, a is minus 2, value of limit will be minus 1. So this was a very good problem. I hope you understood this concept. Now next we will talk about infinity by infinity indeterminate form.
To get complete video lectures of GATE, IES and SSC JEE Mechanical Engineering branch, download our free application GATE Lectures for Mechanical from Play Store. To continue getting preparation related videos on YouTube, subscribe our channel along with bell icon to get regular notifications.